Hey everybody, Doug here from 2 Plus Stuff. Man, it's been a hot minute. I got a terrible cold. Right when the Fire Slayers and Deepkin books were coming out, I was on my butt for like 5 days. I had no voice. If you listen to the Path to Glory for Fire Slayers, you can hear it. I'm like, oh! But we're well, we're hale, hearty, and we're ready to do some painting. I realized that in the I don't know. It was only 5 days that I was out of action, but I realized in that time just how behind my painting log I really am. And so I have an event coming up in May 14th and 15th. Unfortunately, it's not the Games Workshop one in Seattle. I won't be able to make that one, but this one is in Missouri. It's called Vault Wars, and I know some awesome people, notably some hosts from Warhammer Weekly, are going to be there. And so I'm gonna hang out, paint some Bonesplitterz, because I am taking them to a competitive event because self-loathing. You know, I don't like winning. Whatever dumb excuse you want to throw in there. I actually have my eye on a very specific prize that I want to win, or award. That's what I mean, not prize. Award that I want to win. And so we'll talk about that. So in the meantime, I'm going to go to the downward cam. I'm going to pull up I guess I have the tournament doc. Is that what it's called? The tournament packet. Yeah, I have the tournament packet pulled up. We can go through that together if you're interested in it. But essentially they have an underdog award, which is you take a faction that is pure trash, as defined by whatever they call pure trash at the time. And if you win at least 2 games with it, amongst all the people who are taking the bottom tier armies, those who win 2 games are qualified to enter for the underdog award, and then amongst those people, it's those with the highest battle score. So I thought it would be a fun idea to do a little challenge for myself, and I can at least call myself the proper underdog. So that's exactly what we're doing. Let's see. Tectonic Craft Studios. Hey buddy, how you doing, man? First round loss is the ticket to the fun bracket. Yes, that's the problem. I'm more worried about winning the first round because it'll count as one of my 2 wins. But it can be real rough if all of a sudden you start swinging above your weight class. So I have a bunch of orcs. Okay, these are the ones I made way back when originally, and I got them back from Jack, and I've grown a lot as a painter. One thing that I have found that I actually really like on these guys is doing the streaking grime wash. I kind of moved away from doing that on every model because it was a really cool thing that Vince from Warhammer Weekly showed me. Got a little bit obsessed with it, and then I started to pull back a bit. But then with these guys in particular, because they were painted with contrast colors so many moons ago, the color is kind of faded a little bit. So when you do the grime wash on these specific orcs, they actually turn out looking pretty great. Like the green is bright enough and translucent enough to kind of pop through a little bit. It just kind of shows, so you don't lose any quality, but it just really refines them, almost like adding contrast to them. So we're gonna do that for the painted ones, and I don't know what to do with these unpainted ones. So like the list I'm going for is going to be, I think I'm gonna go Icebone, because I do think that there's game specifically with the boars. That's my thought. It's the general consensus online from the 2 other people that play Bonesplitterz I've been able to find on the internet, that boars are great. And so I have a unit of 10 Maniac Boar Boys, which is the more elite, all melee-centric ones. But I am going to go back and build out some more of the basic Boar Boys, because they can have the sticka, the spear, so they can get more attacks in. And I think that that's probably the path to victory. The only unit that I have that I just do not see a use for are the Arrow Boys. I just don't think the Arrow Boys came out looking good in this particular book. But, you know, they had their time in the sun, so to speak. They were good when they were great. Actually, I realized I put my streaking grime stuff in the closet. Give me 1 sec, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, a few things we can chat about while I'm sitting here just chatting. I want to show off a few things. Actually, I'll wait to do the showing off until these guys are drying, because there's like a 15-minute gap of time between putting the grime on and then when you can start to clean it all off. So, we'll do show and tell at that point. We got a hi from Mark Andre. Hey, buddy. From Montreal, Canada. Sweet. Jamie. Hey, man. How you doing? Wargamer Willie. 16 months has gone by too quickly. Thank you. Oh, buddy. Thank you so much. You're too kind to me, man. That guy you know. Hey, hey, hey. It is a beautiful Saturday here in Iowa, here in the Midwest. And, hopefully tomorrow I can get out and do some priming, because I had a review for Blood and Plunder, the historical game. That went live today, but unfortunately since I've gotten the kit, I haven't had a day where I could really take it out and actually like prime it and start enjoying the models and stuff. So that's been a bit of a bummer, but that's okay. We'll get there. Having a really weird weather spell where it goes from nice and warm and sunny to super stinking cold. All right now it's 10 degrees outside or something like that. You're like, well, awesome. That's Fahrenheit, by the way, for those of you following along elsewhere. And I'm not worried about the bases. I'm gonna do a little bit of a base doctoring across the entire army later on, so I don't mind being messy. These were from way back before Vince came on the channel and brutally corrected me that I need to like bases more, and I've been putting more work since these guys. But these are some old models from me. Not my oldest, but they're up there. Manny, ahoy! Howdy there. I don't know how to Monduter. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, but hello, nonetheless. Is it? Oh, the Midwest. You enjoying this amazing 1 degree weather? Oh, I love it. I mean, I love the Midwest. That's why I moved back. I like the people. I like the climate. I like the cold. I love snow. Love it all. Oh wow, I've never seen streaking grime applied before. This is great. Oh yeah, so the way that I do it, as was taught to me by Vince Ventrella, is you basically douse the whole model in it, and then you have this big old thing of sponges over here on the side that's just off screen. And I'm going to walk through and then basically just wipe away all of the excess. And then I have some tinier brushes, like makeup style brushes. I can go in and pick them out with a little bit more exact detail. Actually, I'm going to do it on top of this shirt so I can collect some of the grime. But yeah, it basically just adds a really nice dirty gritty feel, which of course Bonesplitterz, they would have. I mean, there was a unit of boars that when they were being shipped, all of the paint and stuff like that kind of got chipped and messed up. And so I was like, well, you know, if I'm going to repaint these guys anyway, I might as well experiment and see how the streaking grime looks on them. Because they had skin that matched these dudes. And so I did it and I was like, oh wow, these actually look way the hell better than just the washes I was doing. Because I don't know how well it shows up on the screen right now, but I tried to make them look dirtier. I kind of like the darker green olive skin, or like a military kind of green for the orc skin, rather than the bright highlighter stuff that you see here. But I also like having a mix of different skin tones because it makes the army look more interesting. So it was just this weird, like, it was a great, like, equalizer. Like, it brought all the tones down enough that they all looked like they fit, but you still caught just enough of the difference in the green underneath the grime for it to look different, and it helped cover up and conceal a lot of the kind of like doctoring I had to do to get those models back together. So it ended up being pretty great. Let's see. Painting my last 10 gut rippers for my 2K list over here. Good luck on that underdog trophy. Thank you. Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a sec. That would be a hobby achievement for me, like a true capital A achievement that I would like brag about all the time. Oh man, it's one of those things that, like, it's a goal that I think is very reasonable because I am good at the game. Like, I'm not high competitive tier, but I am good at the fundamentals of objective play and that kind of stuff, and like knowing my rules once I get comfortable with the list and that kind of thing, especially when it's like Slaves to Darkness or Orcs, where it's really about bodies, wounds, and control. Like, I can do that. So I don't think it's an unreasonable idea to go to an event and win 2 games, and as long as I win those 2 games, then it's just about focusing on, okay, I can lose everything else, but how do I focus on the most battle points, you know? And that's a good, I think, mindset to walk into the event with, not knowing who's going to be there or what's going on, just because it allows me to, like, you know, once I get my 2 wins, I can just kind of like, okay, this is, I'll probably be knocked down to my bracket where I belong, me and the other lore nerds, and then the fun, to quote Anakin, this is where the fun begins. You start playing against narrative folk. Okay, I'm going to set a little timer here on my browser. Give me just a hot sec. Timer, 15 or so minutes. And there she goes. Okay, so yeah, we got the, I'm just going to do 10 at a time because I have noticed that if I do 2 more than that, by the time I finish with the second batch of 10, the first already kind of needs to be dried, and I just kind of feel like my work is divided. We got here, what are you? Savage Boss. Yeah, actually, I got a whole bunch of, let me show off what I'm thinking to do with the bases here. Okay, so these were sent to me without me knowing that they were coming. The good folks at Great Gamer Grass, apologies, have been sending me like plants and fauna and stuff. So they've always done like tufts, and I've loved their tufts. I did a review of them. I think they're terrific. But they started doing this new thing with, like, it's almost like a paper cutout of fauna, and then when you bend it right, they have like these very cool alien looking things. Like, this is almost like a Venus flytrap when the sides come together. And I have never used anything like these before, but I thought, man, what a better project to use them on than my Gur bases, like dry bracken. I mean, that's a fantastic thing to go with the kind of the more neutral yellow that I have there to represent Gur. So I'm excited about those quite a bit. There's all kinds of weird plants in here, but thank you guys for sending me that. Anyway, so I'm gonna wait on that, but that's part of the great. Uh-oh. Huh. Can you guys see me now? How about the audio? Just doing a sound check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Bum, 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 bum. Back. Okay. Yeah, what happened was I accidentally hit my my keypad. It was keyed into a certain camera here. So I didn't think about that when I was hitting my timer. Apologies. Thank you to everyone who said something. I really do apologize. So, now I don't know if those cool plants or whatever were actually on camera, but there's like these things where you can like, you pop them out and they're not this shape, but they fold into these really cool looking trees. And if you mix them in with grass tufts and stuff like that, I think they'll look great, to be honest. So Pyromancer, if you want any of these, buddy, hit me up. He's a local buddy. He's my friend Rob. He's hanging out with me. All right, I'm just gonna keep an eye on the connection thing. I get paranoid whenever YouTube starts acting weird, which I'm sure you can all understand. Let's see. Yeah, now you got to show us the things again because we missed all that. Okay, yeah, let me show them to you. Got my little box here. This is perfect because... So this is... Okay. So once upon a time, here's a story for you guys. Gamergrass said, hey, we noticed that, you know, you do live streams with paints and that kind of stuff, and you're kind of our level of hobbyist, meaning I'm not trying to, like, bust any painting competitions or anything like that. I'm an average person who does good work, and I love what I paint. And so they sent me a whole bunch of tufts, and they sent me more than I will ever use. So this is grass tufts from the first time that they sent me stuff. And then they did a second launch when they sent me all of the flowers that you see on my Knights Excelsior bases. So they have those. Make sure that shows up. Yeah, there we go. And then most recently they sent me a huge box of all of these plants. So let me show those off. I have this epic box of basing. And I'll show off some of them here for you. This is not like paid marketing or whatever. I think they just accidentally left me on a list because they've never talked to me. They just like randomly a box will show up on my doorstep and I'll be like, what? It's really hard to show off on camera. Let's see. So yeah, this is like alien type tufts. And again, they don't look quite this way. What you do is you stack them. So you have one little flower here. You'll put that down, then you take a smaller one and put it inside of it, because if you look at the picture on the back, it almost, I know it's so hard to show, but it almost looks like a cactus flower where there's like multiple layers of petals. Like there's a big petals in the bottom, smaller as they get in. What is this? Lords and ladies. So we're looking at, kind of looks like poison ivy. Banana trees, elephant ears, which I will definitely use that. Agave. Cool. Dumb cane. I am not a botanist. Some of these I don't know if they're fun names or if they're like actual plants, and I'm just a dingus. Alien flytrap, as we mentioned. Monstera, which is just large wide petal leaves. And then the bracken I was talking about. You can make a whole jungle? Yeah, dude. Yeah. Pardon me, I'm so sorry. So anyway, that is what I got going on. So, you know, the basic color of the bases really isn't the issue, as you can tell. Actually, this guy shouldn't be here. He's an archer. We don't use bows. We're Bonesplitterz. Anyway, so the basic colors of them are great. I love like the yellow because I wanted it to match that original Bonesplitterz battle tome where it's just the orc running at you on yellow plains. So that's what I originally wanted, but now that I'm looking back, I'm like, well, I need a little something to break it up. So I think those plants will be great. So, yeah. We love you, Doug Dingus, or not. Well, that's what my wife says to me every single day. I'm just kidding. She's wonderful. She's nothing but supportive. Let's see. Okay. Let's check out this event. According to my clock, I still got 7 minutes before I can do the streaking grime thing. So let's take a look here. So this is Vault Wars. Let's go down to the event details. Fight to dominate the battlefield, hunt for treasure, or both. So we got here in Springfield, Missouri. Looks like there's a 50-player cap. If you don't know, Tyler Emerson, as my understanding, is the guy... Oh, I didn't mean to click that. That was a PDF link. The guy running the event, so I'm very excited to finally meet Tyler in real life. Buy the man a beer. These other guys, I'm sure they're awesome. I don't think I've ever met any of them. So, yeah. No alcohol on site. That immediately gets a thumbs up from me because far too many events have ended up with someone being too drunk to be fun. Let's see. So let's see. Friday. So it's a 2-day event. Saturday is an all-day thing. Oh god, the last round ends at 7:30 p.m. Ew. Well, we'll see. I'm playing Bonesplitterz, so hopefully I'll lose some games pretty quick. And Sunday, let's see, things end 4:30 at awards. Okay, it's about, I think... Man, I can't remember what the distance was. I think it was like 4 or 5 hours or something like that. So yeah, we'll be home Sunday night. Hey, if there's anyone else in the Iowa City area and Iowa City, Cedar Rapids area, it's kind of my region, my little corner of Iowa. Want to carpool down with me and Rob? Hit me up. Oh, if you have tickets. I think they're sold out now, but you know what I mean. So let's see. Here's all the legal publication stuff. What's cool about this is that it is a 2-list format thing, and I have this very fascinated thought process when it comes to 2-list formats, because when I started the hobby, I started it with War Machine and Hordes, and a lot of their events were unique in that you would bring 2 lists, and at some point in the event, you had to use both of them. So like you might, say you have list A and list B. If it's a 5-round tournament, you can use list A 4 out of 5 times, but before the event ends, if you want full points, you have to use the second list. This event is not like that. I think they are they're trying it out. So there are 2 lists, but there's no requirements on what you do, kind of a deal. So I think that's pretty cool. It's a cool idea. I don't know if I will take advantage of it, to be perfectly honest with you, because I feel like the Bonesplitterz just kind of do one thing, which is just run forward and die hard. So, I'm not sure how much list diversity is required for that plan. I think my eventual list is going to include Kragnos, simply because he just is another threat on the table that has to be dealt with. So I'm excited to see him leading a bunch of Bonesplitterz. What else? This is just an example list, because there are some things that has to be similar. For example, 1,600 points between the 2 lists have to be identical. And so really what you're making functionally is a sideboard of 400 points. That's all. Which I like. It's cool. I don't know if I would take advantage of it. I'm trying to think. The only thing that I would really do is like grots to have bodies on a objective or something, but the Bonesplitterz do objective plays so well already. I don't know. So we'll skip past their example. Army lists are due by April 30. Okay, gotta make sure that doesn't get away from me. I'll probably submit it way the hell too early. let's see. I got a cool game case, all the rules, copies of your list, all that kind of stuff. Cool. Everything has to be painted and based, which I dig. That's my kind of thing. Grudges. I like it. We can do grudges. We are not using the General's Handbook 2021 for determining attacker and defender. Instead, roll off. The winner chooses to be the defender or attacker. The defender picks which territory is their territory. Nice. I think that sounds cool. This is an interesting thing I need to wrap my head around. So they're only using grand strategies from the General Handbook, which is cool. I mean, the Battle Tome ones are basically just typically worse versions of those ones anyway. But you have to pick a different one at the start of each game. Huh. Oh, but it's after selecting your list. That's cool. So you can maybe have like one of your lists be designed to go after one of those grand strategies that is a little bit more corner case. Players have to track victory points scored, of course, monsters killed, battle tactics and grand strategies achieved, and keys earned by their Vault Hunter. This information will affect prizes and tiebreakers. So yeah, it's called Vault Hunter or something like that. I haven't seen a whole lot of information about that yet. Let's see. Ringer, dropouts, game timing. I'm not really worried about all these things. Battle plans will be selected from the following, each announced prior to the start of a round. So you don't know which round. Okay. Interesting. In addition, since Vault Wars is happening at the end of the GHB 21 season, we're going to shake things up by playing 2 or 3 battle plans themed around fan favorites from past General's Handbooks. These battle plans have been linked to the end of this pack so that you can play them in advance. Alright, Pyromancer, you and I are going to crank out some of these battle plans to try and understand what we need to do. Let's see. Rules disputes. Yeah, vault hunting is a thing that I'm interested in because that's like the narrative arm of this event. And that's a cool idea. So I don't know what it is, but I'm interested. That could be a place, you know, I'm going for the underdog award. Once I win 2 games, it's all about just earning as many tournament points as possible. That could be a way in which I lean into that pretty aggressively. Painting points, mission points, player code of conduct. Just so you know, if you play against me, you know, I am going to cuss violently at you. Probably throw a few beers. All that. I'm just kidding. Best table. Okay, and then there's a link to the battle plan. So, pretty simple stuff. Where is it at? Underdog. Here we go, yeah. Awarded to the player who finishes with the most tournament points and at least 2 wins with an underdog faction. The following factions are eligible, subject to change, meaning if they get a new battle tome that makes them OP. Beasts of Chaos, I'm sure that one will change. I'm sure that's coming off this list real the hell fast. Blades of Corn, Bonesplitterz, Gloomspite Gits, Hedonites of Slaanesh, Nighthaunt, and Skaven. Nighthaunt's a wild card because their book's coming out. We don't know much about them, but yeah. An underdog faction is defined as one with a 40% or lower win rate. And they have the AOS State of the Meta by the Honest Wargamer. Any inclusion. So, yeah, basically they just use math to determine who's the worst. Oh, man. So that's the event that I'm going to. I got to learn these missions. I don't... Look, I'll be honest with y'all. I do not play a whole lot of match play missions, so I really got. That's going to be the part that I have to push myself in, is learning these things. Like I said, I'm not a in any way a bad player. I just, you know, much like the orcs that I tend to play and lead, I get distracted sometimes. There we go. Now we're really cooking. We are wiping away that grime. And so it's just leaving us with these nice, dark, deep recesses and muscles and butts. Oh yeah, such definition. And I am going to go back and basically touch up and perk up some of the tattoos and stuff like that and make them extra nice and shiny. Let's see. Okay, I got a few questions here. I am entering a local painting competition. We were all given the same Stormcast Vindictor to paint, and I was wondering if anybody had any conversion ideas to help the model stand out. Well, Jamie, I'm going to say this because I really like you. Don't outsource your work. It might sound rude to say figure it out, but you know, come on, look at the model, look at some cool artwork if there's a pose you want to do, but don't let anyone else's inspiration enter that contest. That's about you and your local guys. Plus, I think, don't they give you pre-built models with that? I mean, that's the only context I've seen those kinds of events in, so I guess I don't really know. I can't speak to your particular local one, but I felt like for a lot of those, they tend to give you pre-built models, so converting might be a bit difficult once it's already... let's see... Doug, I swore I wasn't going to collect another army, but your Path to Glory video on Fire Slayers has 70% tempted me into starting them. You're the best plastic crack dealer around. Well, thank you. I do my best, you know. I don't make any money off of it, but... Well, direct sales anyway. I don't sell plastic crack, but... One day, we'll see. For me, I'm not gonna lie, I am at the point, or at least getting there pretty close, where I am getting fairly ready to sell the Knights Excelsior. Well, not all of them, because I'm going to keep a small allied force because I have these really awesome chariots that my local friends here help me paint up. And I mean, there are aspects of the army I like. Specifically, I like the Sacrosanct Chambers look. But when I'm looking at next factions, man, I got my eye on decking out my Bonesplitterz with a Kragnos, so that's going to happen. And then also, I was also looking at Fire Slayers because that Path to Glory thing, it lit up something in me where I was like, this is what I wanted out of Path to Glory, where in between it's not just, okay, who died, who got hurt, but it's like decision making on a campaign level of, these are the contracts we're taking, these are the ones we're not taking, this is what we're doing, kind of a deal. And I just, that's what I'm here for. Plus, I'll be honest, every Path to Glory army rule that has come out, or in a battle tome, I should specify, has made the Stormcast one seem incredibly boring. It just did. Their whole deal is like, your heroes don't have to die. It's like, yeah, but it's cooler if they do. Like, well, that's a waste of a Path to Glory rule then. You don't have to lose your hero. Yeah, but I want the epic saga of their death more than I want them to stick around on my roster in battle. Duh, don't you guys understand gamers at all? Says Doug to himself as he looks at battle tomes. I like the Soul Collection for Idnith Deacon Path of Glory. Yeah, yep. You know, it's a very, yeah, exactly, for the same reasons. Very similar thing of just, You are in the role of a Tide caster or a Killian King, and you need to make decisions about your raids and stuff. I like that quite a bit. That to me feels much more like army management campaign stuff than what the Stormcast got, or what the orcs got for that matter. Although I guess the orcs, it feels a little bit different. I don't know. I don't know how I would have changed the orc one. It just kind of feels like everyone else is playing Path to Glory and the orcs are like, you guys don't get territories. What are you talking about? You just ransack and pillage. And it's like, well, it's true, but they do have like hubs, you know, where stuff happens. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Kragnos, the god of anticlimaxes. That's exactly right. I, for one, do worship my god of mediocrity. That's right. That's what I am here for. Me and my Bonesplitterz are here for that. Okay, so we got some of our boys over here. Looking good, looking fairly gnarled. And they'll dry and look perfect. Bueno. Okay. And we'll hop into the next batch. The Stormcast one seemed really anticlimactic. Like they could have done so much more with reforging or building a Dawnbringer crusade. Well, I think my thought, without any, I'm gonna make this emphatically clear that I have no prior knowledge of anything. My thought is that they're probably going to have the Cities of Sigmar lean heavier into the Dawnbringer crusades, which I kind of expected. But even that being said, yeah, I feel like the Fireslayer one so far has done the most to make you feel like you're running a faction, right? You're the the Rune Father who's picking what contracts you take and don't. And within that, you can slide that narrative into any Dawnbringer Crusade story, and it'll work seamlessly. And like that is what all of these things should be, right? If maybe we're not the Dawnbringer Crusades, but we can get hired by them. Like yes, please. I want to go to there. At Doug from Wolf, the Blood and Plunder video was good. Game seems really cool. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited to jump into it. I'm going to start painting tomorrow once the weather's warm enough for me to prime. But I'm exceptionally excited about it because what I like about historical games that I'm learning, because I've been looking at the rules for a few more, and when I say historical, I mean games that are trying to represent something rather than be a game first and foremost. Right? And you can get that in a bunch of different ways. Another great one is Sludge, if you have not played that one. It's another models agnostic game. It's from the guy who does Relic Blade. So it's Sean Stutter, I believe is his name. Terrific artwork. And it's just this weird alternate World War I type setting where things are just grim and weird, and they're just so cool. And so that's another game right there where it's like, you know, yeah, it has rules, and you can be very tactical with it. You can be a good player, and there's bad players, but the game is much more about rolling dice, beer and pretzel, representing a thing rather than deep tactical combat, you know. It's very open information. The factions aren't vastly different from one another. But yeah. Anyway, I got to talking about Sludge, but what I'm saying is I guess I've never really done much with historical stuff. And this just seemed so stinking fun. I mean, honestly, I had some brief experiences with Blood and Plunder before because one of the stores that I used to frequent up in the Seattle area, Mop Games, they actually were super big into it. Like the owner, Trent, was really, really big into Blood and Plunder because he just liked the simplicity of it, but also it's just very engaging. And so, you know, you're rolling dice, you're having a good time. It's just a matter of how many D10s can you roll real well. That's basically the name of the game. There's more depth than that, of course, but that's the gist. Skill checks and orders and that kind of thing. But you have boats, and boats being baked into the core rules of a game is awesome. Let's see. Hey, greeting from the Netherlands. How is everyone doing? Doing well, my friend. How are you? Oi, oi, oi. Let's see. Beard Hammer, doing well, doing well. Can you build the Ogre mounts without riders? Stonehorn and Mournfang specifically. You know, does someone have those kits? I've had the models in my hand, but I don't think I've actually ever built either of those. To know, like, can you build them without the rider? Like, I know the saddle is a part of the model, but I don't know if the legs are attached to that. Kind of like how for no reason, they decided the Magmadroth always has to have a rider because they decided to sculpt the seat into the spine of that thing. And you're like, dude, you had an easy slam dunk. You could have just given us, you know, kind of like the Terrorgeist and Zombie Dragon. It can just have no rider. Why can't we do that? The boats are what got me? Yeah. They're pretty rad, right? There's just all different sizes and kinds, and I mean the rules for them are pretty deep and vast. Like it is a next level of understanding that game, but it's one that seems very rewarding. I mean, it doesn't seem complicated. It just seems like a different set of rules that you need to figure out and get comfortable with before you can probably start bringing other people into the mess. And selfishly, I'm very happy that they're in the US because, you know, I mean, it's really nice. I love all the game companies that I support. I'm very honest. I don't promote games I don't like. That's kind of always been the stance on the channel. But it is really nice to finally have an American company where I can be like, hey, I can email these guys in a reasonable hour and get a reasonable hour response back, you know? I'm not constantly being like, okay, what time is it in wherever you are? Okay. Every time I have a question, having to wait a day. What's your time zone? Tomorrow. Okay. Neat. I mean, you can, but all the units have riders. Not sure about the saddles. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. Beard Hammer. More importantly, how is Jack? He's holding up. Rough times all around, but, you know. Going through some real stuff. That's just what happens. But he's good. Strong dude. Okay. Sweet. Man, do I really have 30 more boys? Why would I ever need 30 more boys? I mean, it's fine. I'm just like thinking to myself, like, why? How did I get to this point? All right, let's see. They're pure Cruel boys are Morky, Ard boys are Gork. What's the Bonesplitterz thing? I think the Bonesplitterz to me, I mean, honestly, I think they're just both. You know, if one's Gork, one's Mork, the Bonesplitterz are Gorka Morka. Yeah, that's how I would look at it. I mean, their deity is, in fact, a weird way of saying 3 in 1 in terms of Gork and Mork are represented separately and together. And if one wanted to draw religious iconography and imagery, they could certainly make arguments for there being a sort of trinity in that respect. Not that they are all separate and individual at any given time, but there's an aspect to them all that is inherently different from one another. Gorka Morka is, by being one thing, somehow also different than Gork and Mork. I'm just touching up a few minor details where it's a little bit grungier than we're looking for. And we are looking for crunch. Okay. Tectonic Craft Studio, I'm ready to see that grime get wiped off like the Sears hardware, dude. This is my thing. This is what I'm into. I like grime getting wiped away. Cool. Girl on first date slowly walks away. I feel like that would make a really good, like, I need to make a satisfying Wargamer video. You know how they have those art videos where it's just, everything is meant to be super satisfying, like perfect cuts and that kind of stuff, and just have the same thing, but for Wargaming, where it's like the perfect edge highlight, or I don't know what. Oh yeah, before and after of washes. What else would be on our super chill, like, you know, zen moments for Wargamer stuff? I don't know, I feel like there's a bunch of those kinds of things. Pardon me, I'm still getting over a cold. I will mute myself when I sneeze and sniffle and that kind of stuff as much as I can. Hans. Hey Doug, what do you think of one-page rules? What do I think of them? I think they're really cool. I like them as a company. So, like, do you mean as a company, or do you mean like as a game format? Because if you're not familiar, One Page Rules is just that. They are a site that makes STLs for miniatures. If you have a 3D printer, they're really, really cool looking models. I love their Da Vinci Warrior type guys. But in addition, they also put out very, very simple, streamlined, literally one-page rules. That's kind of a misnomer because you have to have the faction sheets. But as far as the actual core mechanics of the game go, one page. I think they are cool. They are great. They're a great base for expanding games. Like, the core mechanics of their game are sound and really solid. It just doesn't have a lot of diversity when it comes to, like, missions and, you know, that kind of stuff. Which, of course, you know, it does a really good job of what you can ask one page of rules to do. How about that? But no, I've emailed the owners a few times, and they are really cool people. We have this standing agreement that the minute I get a 3D printer, I'm gonna sign up, and we'll be covering more of their stuff. But that's not on the docket anytime soon, unfortunately. Just real life expenses and taxes and all kinds of gross real life stuff. 3D printer's pretty far off. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to mute myself to cough a little bit. All right, I'm back and 20% less phlegmy. Let's see. I'm catching up on the chat here while I'm waiting. I have 9 minutes left on this batch to dry, but the other one is looking chef's kiss good. Let's see. Glad to catch you live. Are you painting these over Bonesplitterz to redo them? Yeah, so Ethan, I did these Bonesplitterz a long time ago. Some of them are painted one way, some of them are painted another. Like some of them are contrast. The other ones are really old ones I painted where I did, what's it called? What was that? That green Nurgle base that was really big when they had the Nurgle models as part of the starter set. I did that and then a bunch of washes because I do kind of like more of the olivey type green rather than like highlighter green, which GW seems to think orc flesh is. That's what the contrast paint makes. So because they're painted differently, they also aged differently. And so like the contrast paints tend to be, they can rub off easily. They tend to be much more of a washed look rather than, you know, the actual dark green primer type paint. So what I have found is that the grime actually does a good job of bringing the two different styles into line with one another. So they look coherent much more so. They used to have different greens, of course, which I want. I want different skin tones. But in my opinion, it just kind of, it smooths it out a bit. So that's kind of been the idea. Oops, definitely spilled a whole bunch of that stuff. That was an accident. Put that off to the side. But yeah, that was the idea. Let's see. Wolf, Doug, what's with the Muddy Orcs? I am going to an event in May that I'm very excited about. And I am looking for the Underdog Award. So that's what I'm excited for. The Bonesplitterz are hopefully my ticket to losing in a way that gets me an award. He lost so hard. His Bonesplitterz died so hard. We had to give him an ancillary surprise or prize. Like, okay, cool. I'll take it. Let's see. Power washing videos are hypnotic. Yes. I am a sucker for those. Also, ladies' nails. Okay? There are some incredible channels online where people put... Sorry, the streaking grimes all over my fingers. I'm not just this dirty of a human. And the way that people do layers, and because nail polish is such a specific type of paint, like with a very thick medium, you can see some incredible paint jobs, and you're like, how in the ever-loving hell? I can't do that on a miniature with acrylic paint. How are they doing it on someone's pinky nail? I don't know. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. Here, I'll tell you what, let's do this. We'll hang out together while we still got 5 minutes on this this layer of the grime. Is it Sue Sensei? Doug, what would you build for a Clan Scryer Path to Glory list? That's a toughie. Clan Scryer is a sort of difficult one because their options are so narrow. Let's play around with the list builder. Let's see. War Scroll Builder. This is why I like doing live shows. We can just kind of hang out and answer questions in real time. Okay, so Grand Alliance, we're going Chaos. Skaven Tide. No, wait, we don't want Skaven Tide, do we? Because they're not Skaven Tide. Are they? Oh, that's right. Yeah, so it is Skaven Tide, and then the leader is the one. I don't remember. They have this very strange way of building factions that I never liked. Okay, so let's say your Arch Warlock as your general. So let's take a look. So we need Scryer Acolytes and Storm Fiends. So let me ask you this. It depends really on what point level you're starting at. Because, like, honestly... Oh, and you can have, that's right. Give me a second. My brain is slowly coming together. Okay. I would... What's your acolytes? I promise I'm almost done, then I'll go back to talking like normal. Okay, if I was starting 1,000 points... Oh wait, that's not what I wanted to do, is it? If I was doing 1,000 points, I would probably... Probably end up with something like this. Let me bring it up. It's 995. Got an Arch Warlock, a Grey Seer, 2 of your battle line units of Storm Fiends, and the Suffocating Gravetide. And the reason I do that is because, one, you have 2 fantastic wizards here. So giving them an endless spell, it just means you're always gonna... Oh, you're at 600 points? Okay, I'm sorry. I just saw your message. You don't have a lot of options if you're starting at 600. I'm not going to lie to you. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, and that was always my problem with Skaven, is just, it gets so hard to build lists for them. The nice thing is that in the narrative format, battle line doesn't matter. So, let's say we had some Storm Fiends. We'll grab some Acolytes just to have a coterie for our leader. Because you got to. And that puts you at 605 already. Holy hell. So, yeah. Oh, wait. Never mind. We can drop the endless spell then. So it'll give us 45 points to play with. Yeah, basically that's just another endless spell, but a cheaper one. So I think it's a bit rough, so to speak. We'll go back here to the downward camera. Almost ready to start degriming these boys. That's like saying, like, hey, what's 600 points of Sons of Behemoth? And the answer is, Son of Behemoth. That's what 600 points will get you. No, if you're part of a Path to Glory group, I would probably just explain your situation and either catch up to everyone. Ooh, no, I broke him off his base. Okay, that's okay. I'm just emotionally devastated and will never recover. Give me a hot sec. You know what? He is going to be a bit difficult without the base to kind of bounce off of, so let's see. I'm going to get this guy with the little mascara brushes just because it's easier to pick out the details without him flicking around. Like, physically, me flicking him off of his base was sort of a bummer. Cool. Okay. Just wanted to pick out those. Okay. He's good. Let's move on to everybody else. Okay, I fell behind the comments because I was checking out stuff online. Let's see. I ordered up 2 Mega Gargants last week. My brother once mentioned he would play an army with 4 models. And now I am. Yes. I think that is rad. An army of 4 models just sounds... It sounds like it could go a lot of different ways, right? It can be really cool or end terribly every game. That's the problem that knights have in 40k, from what I understand, is just sometimes you're unstoppable. Other times you eat dirt. Okay. Yeah, if you're looking to seal models, I would not use Lamia Medium. That's just paint without pigment. But I see your point. No. And pardon me, I'm sorry, that came out of nowhere. The thing about these guys is they were just painted a long time ago before I ever did anything to seal models and stuff. So it's, you know, it's one of those things, like, I've learned since then, but, you know, we're at now, so I need to make them look like they belong with the other ones. So that's why I'm going ahead with the all the work of trying to make them look cohesive. Also, I just wanted to throw this out there. If anyone is interested, I'm going to be on Warhammer Weekly this coming Wednesday to chat Fire Slayers, because I told Vince I wanted to start the army, and if nothing else, I am at least going to take over Warhammer Weekly for a small bit and gush about their Path to Glory rules, because they are the coolest. If you disagree, you're wrong. Lance, if I missed your question, I apologize. Just go ahead and ask it again. What do you think of Dead Zone / Warpath / Firefight? It's sci-fi, Marauders, orcs. You know, I don't have an opinion. Mainly because I've never played any of those games. I don't know anyone near locally who plays Mantic games. I like a lot of their models, but I don't really know anything about the actual rules of the game, like what the turn structure is like. Is it action economy? Like, I know it's kind of their version of, I don't want to say their version of 40k. I think that's disingenuous. I don't like when people do that in my videos, so why would I do it? So it's their sci-fi war game, but I don't know enough about it to know what makes it, you know, unique. For example, like I did have a really deep interest in Kings of War when I first got into the hobby. Just couldn't find anyone to play. Kings of War is their rank and flank. Totally not Fantasy Battles game. But, yeah. I mean, I'm open to trying anything. Lord knows, if you leave me alone with a computer for half an hour, I'll find 10 new war games that I want to start. That's kind of my MO as of late. That's why I never really... I don't understand content creators who get on and complain about Games Workshop, where it's like, okay, go do something else. We're in the golden age of war games right now, my friend. There is nothing but competition for your time and coin, and sometimes not even your coin, because a lot of these rule sets cost like $10 and you can use models you already bought. So it's like they're not competing in the miniature space. And yeah, so I'm over here like, man, I want to play Stargrave and Frostgrave and Relic Blade and Sludge and all, you know, there's just my ability, my desire to play different games exceeds my ability to find people to play them with me. Here I am looking at Blood and Plunder, and it's just like, is there anyone who plays? Like, well, there's one guy in Cedar Rapids and a bunch of people in Chicago. I'm like, well, I only go to Chicago for crime reasons. Not sure if I want to do that for Blood and Plunder. Okay. Yes, Doug, but my GW heard her. Exactly, yeah. Yes, welcome to 2+ Tough, where the motto is do whatever the hell you want, just be happy about it. That's pretty much motto of the channel at this point. What I need to do is I need to sucker Dan Bears, who is one of the hosts of Cubic Shenanigans, the one of my favorite AOS podcasts. Probably, okay, time to pull back the curtain a little bit. I do not actually watch or listen to a lot of Age of Sigmar content, not because I think I'm so much better than other content creators, it's because I want them to have their own opinions, and I want to have my own, and I don't want to just reciprocate. You know, I don't want to copy paste somebody else's work unintentionally, as what it would be, but it is what it is. And I always like to give credit to where it's due. But anyway, so that's a lot of preface to say. One of the few AOS podcasts I listen to is Cubic Shenanigans. They're somewhat local to me, Midwest local, which just means 4 hours away. And one of their hosts, Dan Bears, is into historical stuff as well, and he's just one of my favorite people. So I should sucker him into playing Blood and Plunder or something. I gotta make other people make bad decisions with me. I've already got Rob on a few things. But I gotta find someone else who can keep up with my hobby antics. By antics, I mean flipping armies like they were skateboards at the X Games, you know, whatever dumb stuff I decided to get into. Hey Doug, have you played Total War Warhammer 3 yet? Any thoughts? I have not played it yet. You know, so I get paid out at the end of the month. And so I was like, okay, you know, I'll grab it at the end of the month, whatever. And the more I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know, I never played number 2. I have not gotten my value out of number 2, with the exception of when I used to paint and hobby along with Jack. And I was just never terribly good at it. And I guess I feel it's just not my game. You know, I don't know what it is. Like, I have downloaded, say, Age of Empires 3, and that's my speed that I've been moving at lately, and I've been thoroughly enjoying it. But even then, I don't play with other people. I just kind of dawdle at my own speed. Games like, oh my gosh, you have to capture these objectives to win, and I'm like, bro, I'm not here for that. I am here to build blacksmiths and then learn all of the irrelevant technologies that they offer. It's what I did in, what is it, Dawn of War? It's what it's just... Doug, you're not even using cavalry. Why are you studying all these husbandry things? Well, yeah, I know you gotta keep a smart head on your shoulders. You gotta know all this stuff. It's like, no, you don't, dude. Okay. Sweet. We got 10 more boys. One day you may get me to try Conquest. Conquest is great fun. I will be honest. That is one where I'm like, this is legitimately a good game. Plus, there are other local people besides me who play it, which is quite nice. We have actually 2 members of their volunteer leader program. They call them, I think it's Vanguards. 2 of those guys are around here, and they are pretty cool. So one of them is always anxious to get new players, and his name's Wiley. Cool guy. I will say this room is gonna smell awful. This stuff does not always leave the most heavenly odor as it's drying. It doesn't smell at all once it's all dry, but yeah. If we don't get the polar bear cavalry models for the tabletop, I might join the GW hater crowd. I think that's fine as long as you don't poo-poo anyone else who gets cool stuff. Like I don't mind when people are like, "What? Where's XYZ?" or "This army needs, ABC or whatever." But when like a cool model comes out for, say, we'll make it a 40k thing just to kind of separate us from AOS. But like, hey, here's this new single Tau model, and all the Space Marine players are like, "Where the hell's our stuff?" And then Eldar guys are like, "Games Workshop stopped loving us 10 years ago. Welcome to the party, pal." And then you know what I mean? There's all these things where it's just like, okay, everybody, why don't we just take 5 minutes and realize that some of us got cool models, the guys who played Tau in this example. So maybe we can just be happy for them. No? Okay, cool, you're right. Games Workshop hates us. I don't understand why this multinational corporation didn't make what I specifically wanted for my army, which represents 14% of their product catalog. Oh my gosh, an average army is way less than that, right? That's probably Space Marine levels is 14%, but like if you're playing Tyranids, that does not represent a lot of Games Workshop. I love that they call it odorless mineral spirits. Oh man, have you smelt the non-odorless ones? If you get that on you and try going outside, you'll never find love, but you won't need it because you'll just be repulsive to people. I've always been, and I still am, highly dubious of the old world. Like, Warhammer Fantasy Battles Part 2 Electric Boogaloo that they have coming out eventually, which they have no information on. Everything leading up to the release of that game, I'm just like, this is going to backfire so damn bad. I don't know. And that just might be my personal anxiety. It's just the amount of vitriol I had to wade through when I first started this channel at the height of people hating AOS, because I started before points came out. It was a lot. And so the thought of having to hang out with those folks again online is just not appealing. Because the amount of stuff of like, yeah, I'm excited that Old World is coming, and that coin is going to flip real hard the second those people don't get exactly what they want. The second they have to buy anything, you're going to hear the poo-poos. The second their models from frickin' Reagan era don't hold up, they're going to complain. I don't know. That's where I'm like, why are we doing this? Okay, so let's go to our timer again. Reset. Start. There we go. Okay. But yeah, let's see. Clean up some of my trash. I wanted to show off a cool few models that are actually very personal to me. So, as many of you know, I'm working on a project called Legacy of Atmos. We're still in beta testing for the new edition of the rules, but we introduced a new faction of elephant people called the Zamaxodons. Let me see if I can get a good... Trying to find you guys a nice background to be able to showcase these guys. Let's see if this works. Not great, but I can't really do much. Yeah, this camera kind of blows, I'm not gonna lie to you. So, yeah, they are essentially giant elephant warriors. Here's a diviner, sort of like a mystic. We got this one who I accidentally broke the back of the staff off of. And then, there is Boss Hog, the diviner, and this is to scale. They're sort of like, think of it as like a, I don't know, a magic champion, kind of who's exalted leader type deal. So these are our miniatures for the Maxodons, our third faction in the game. We've already got some cool paint jobs being done on a few of them, but I'll put better pictures up at some point. But I'm very excited about them. So I'm excited to get these guys all primed up tomorrow again and start cranking away, because the texture and detail on these things is just incredible. And I hope that y'all enjoy them as well. There's a lot of like Buddhist / Indian influences. Not that those two things are similar, but the merging of them together. Yeah, and I'm just so excited to paint them all up and have a good time. This guy I'm so excited for. I just want like a 4-foot model of him. Giant elephant boy with 4 arms. But yeah. Someone looking out of his window meme, it's the 4 elephant of the apocalypse. Yes. So, those will be coming to our web store here pretty soon. We had them in development. We're developing the rules right now, but yeah. That 4th model is too much. I gotta have it. People in Kingston are prepared for a Legacy of Atmos. Well, thank you. That means the world. I'm very excited about it. I just finished doing their lore video yesterday, and I hope to have it live, Monday or Tuesday. It's going to go out alongside the Fire Slayer ones. Oh, yeah. By the way, we're going to be doing Fire Slayers this week. I hate when models are, I don't know if you guys have the same pain. Whenever models are suspended by a single point, like this guy's leg lurching forward, it's like, who designed this? And why do you hate people? Who hurt you? It's just such a kick-ass model, too. Oh, man. So for these guys, as far as painting goes, I'm pretty much going to pause here, figure out the rest of my list, which actually, let's go over to the Warcom thing, and let's build us a list for Vault Wars. I don't have one yet, so this is me brainstorming. Destruction, Allegiance, Bonesplitterz, and I'm going to go with, okay. I'm going to throw this out there for you guys. Right now, these orcs have red tattoos. Red tattoos are typically indicative of, what are they called? Drakfoot. Okay? And I'm torn between Drakfoot for the way they look and the Icebone for the way they play. Now, I am going to an event. I do have my mind set on specific trophies and that kind of stuff I want to win. If you're not familiar, the Icebone, every wound roll of a 6, if I'm not mistaken, does a mortal wound in addition to any other damage. Or maybe it might actually stop the combat sequence, but mortal wounds on wounds of a 6. Okay. The Drakfoot don't have any bonuses per se, but you cannot take ward saves against damage that comes from them. So if the big stabba, like the two orcs who are carrying the giant epic spear, if that hits you for 2 wounds, you can't take a ward save on either of them. I think that there is play to both of them. The Icebone makes your boar's battle line, which is a terrific ability. The Drakfoot actually make more boys battle line, which is the orcs that I've been working on today. I'm not really sure which is best, to be honest with you. I don't have a consensus on that. All I know is I like them both. maybe that's what I should do. I should coerce the Warhammer Weekly guys of like, help me make, the BS Bonesplitterz list. But anyway, so we'll go here. Let's go Drakfoot for right now because thematically that's what they are painted as, but we'll see. Grand strategy, that's going to change every round, so I'm not super worried about picking one of those. We're pulling from the Bonesplitterz. Leaders. Oh, you know what? We could do Kragnos. And then we'll go back to the Bonesplitterz. Okay. Let's see. Heroes. We definitely need a Savage Big Boss. And the reason we need him is because I think it's this one, Great Hunter. It's the one that lets you, if you're not familiar, the Bonesplitterz pregame can move 5 inches for a number of units up to half of their army. So if you bring 10 units to the game, 5 of them get a pre-game 5-inch move. This ability changes that to an 8-inch pre-game move. Between that and the pig's movement range, you can very reliably do a turn 1 charge. And you're rolling 3d6 on that when it comes to Kragnos being able to pick somebody nearby and be like, be awesome. That's all he does. And I would love to get a prophet in there because I would love to give them the artifact of, what is the glowing tattoos? If you're not familiar with this is a fun one because the Wurgog prophet can basically stare at an enemy and do mortal wounds to them. It has a chance of hurting him back, but with glowing tattoos and their once per game Bonesplitterz wall, which improves their ward save by 2, he basically can become a wrecking ball. Like, there are stories of these guys taking out Lords of Change because they just don't suffer mortal wounds back. all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. There's some cool stuff there. You need the stair guy, right? Let me double check the wording on those rules with Draxfoot, because if he can deliver mortal wounds like that, and there's no way for people to save against them. Let's see. Bonesplitterz. Page 93. Just referencing this stuff real quick. Okay, Draxfoot. Yeah, that would be perfect. Ward rolls cannot be made for wounds and mortal wounds caused by attacks made by friendly Draxfoot units. Doesn't say what phase, doesn't say ranged or melee. It's just... Well, I guess it's not an attack, though, is it? It's not an attack, it's an ability. Very interesting. I was getting Kragnos. He seems to devastate monsters. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. Doug, do I have Kragnos? No, but I am highly thinking about it. So what are we at? We're at 935 and we haven't added a single unit. Good. Now, looking at our list of units, we have a few things that we want. Lord Vladek, I think we're saying the same thing, but that delay is, yeah, attack, so it won't work, I guess. Yep, that's basically the conclusion I landed on. So we can do, let's do 2 units of more boys, and so I at least want 2 things that can run and just camp on an objective. So what if I do have 10 Boar Boy Maniacs already? Nope, not what I wanted. There we go. No, that's too much. 35 big stabbers. Man. I'm trying to think of how this list will function. So I have one big threat with Kragnos, one big threat with the Urgok Prophet, because he truly can annihilate stuff. Beyond that, I need some units who can run and pin the enemy in their deployment zone. That's what I'm looking at Boar Boy Maniacs for. Honestly, what I would love to get in here is a unit of Boar Boys that's reinforced. Let's see what we need to remove to make that happen. Oh, good. Only 400 points. Somebody kill me. Okay, here we go. Let's see. See, to me, the strength of the More Boys is that they can throw out more attacks on the charge, but they don't necessarily take a punch very well. I mean, none of these guys do. They're all just running around naked with a 6-up ward, but you know what I mean. The 20 Savage Orcs can sit on an objective, and I would love... Oh, wait. Here's where that math went wrong. I accidentally doubled the size of that unit. There we go. So now we're only 145 off. I can live with that. Battle line, battle line, battle line. What if we... Boar Boy Maniacs. Boar Boy Maniacs. Let's grab one of these. Okay, so that puts me at 190. Oh, you know, I need to pick some spells and stuff too. Give me 1 sec. No artifacts. Spells. Think glowy green tusks. So here's my thought, right? Pre-game move, hero phase round 1, the Wargog Prophet's going to attempt to put glowy green tusks on the fat unit. Actually, let's just pull up the synopsis here. Here we go. So glowy green tusks on the unit of 10 boar boys with the pre-game move, and certainly with Kragnos, that is 30-man wall of beef that's going to surge forward and hit the opponent in their deployment zone. Charge 1. I can, if I think I need to, do my once per game Wa, so now that they have a 4-up ward save. So they're just a big thing of beef for the opponent to chew on. Simultaneously, I can throw 20 savage orcs onto one objective. The other objective can be guarded by... Honestly, I would probably put the big boss over there, as well as maybe Boar Boy Maniacs, and I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm going to pause there for a sec. My alarm's going off to de-grime the dudes down below. What do you guys think? I mean, you know, all they're trying to do is move forward and essentially hem my opponents into their deployment zone. So they are forced to spend a turn or two chewing through naked orc booty. That's basically all there is. That's their only mission. I'm sure some lists are going to take it and be totally fine. So I'm doing Kragnos because it was suggested to me by my buddy Jack, and I do think, I don't know, part of me, I don't know if I'm just trying to be a Warhammer hipster. Part of me thinks that there is a game plan that doesn't involve Kragnos. Just leaning into more bodies. More. Or not even bodies, just individual units to act as small individual threats that have to be dealt with. Kind of like Beast of Chaos style. That's how I used to play them as well. I think there's game there, but I'm not sure. There's a little area like on their cheeks or something that's just a bit too tight. For whatever reason, there's just a few of these poses that it's just really hard to get in there with the bigger sponge. Yeah, overall, I'm pretty confident I can essentially stall out the objective game for at least 2 matches, hopefully, to be able to eke out a victory. That's the goal. That's the stated goal. But ultimately, Bonesplitterz are an army that I kind of like because, like I said, it is fundamentally, it's asking a question. Can you handle this many naked orcs? If the answer is no, I probably win, because I'm probably on all the objectives by turn 1. I've also seen good cases for, you know, you try to fit your dudes into battalions, so there are 1 or 2 drops, and, you know, kind of play really hard for that triumph so they can ignore bravery once per game, and then it's just a matter of grinding out your opponent. That being said, I do not know what the damage output of like 60 bliss barb, or not bliss barb, whatever the archers are for Lumineth. You know, all that kind of stuff. Whatever those stats that nerds talk about all day is. So maybe my best hopes of just dousing the table in wounds is probably all for naught. But we're going there for it. Haven't really been able to play 3.0 yet. Sorry, I'll bring you back to the downward cam here, everybody. I have played very, very few matched play games. Most of the stuff I've been doing is Path to Glory with... many of those missions are fun. Some of them are very, very wonky, and then there's ones like in some of the battle tomes that I think are super fun, but I haven't played a ton of actual matched play. I'm still getting used to the idea of, like, you know, your, what do they call them? Grand strategies, that kind of thing. I should do that. I should ask... Ah, man, that's a great idea. Okay. If you are a fellow AOS YouTuber and a competitive person, have me on your show and teach me how to be competitive. First question of the thing. Okay, I'm going to an event that's supposed to be competitively minded. When do I get trophies, and how long after the trophies do I get fame, money, and women? When can I expect these things? Right? That's kind of seems to be what everyone thinks happens when you start winning events, right? And Ayoka, I'm just very happily married, but there seems to be this online perception that somehow, like, people who are good at events are, like, freaking rock stars. Anything they say about the game is just inherently true, and it's like, man, I want that. You better believe if I get this stupid underdog trophy, the next video I make after that is going to be like, Bonesplitterz OP. There we go. I got, let's see, let's talk about this coming week. I got 2 videos made already for the Fire Slayers starting on Monday. I don't know if I'll do the unit overviews because those things haven't changed, and honestly, when I look at the analytics for my videos, I can tell that there is a huge drop-off between when I'm, you know, my first 2 videos, I kind of do like broad faction stuff, and then after that, it kind of drops off when I start talking about individual units, because, admittedly, there's not a lot to go on. I think that's fair, but I'm excited to talk about kind of like the lodges and how they function and all these kinds of things. I just really want to play Fire Slayers and Path to Glory. That's just all I want to do. When Games Workshop was kind enough to send me the Fire Slayer book and the Deepkin book for advanced copies just to kind of look over. And like I said before, unfortunately, I just didn't have a voice to be able to get stuff ready for that launch weekend. But that was okay with me because honestly, I didn't even read the Deepkin one very much. Like, I got both books in the mail and started talking about them with the Rerolling 1 guys because they are also on that list. And they were asking me questions about the Deepkin book. I was like, dude, I don't know, man. I'm just enamored with these Fire Slayers. Haven't even touched the Deepkin book. I was like, that's probably... It shows some of my own built-in leanings against elves, I guess. I don't know. My own biases. Let's see. The ladies love a man who can win at a game with small painted army men. Yeah, exactly. Choosy ladies choose War Masters. You're like, whoa. Gotta make sure I gotta clean these cheeks real good. What would you like to see in the next 2 books? Great question, James. Oh my gosh, pardon me. The second I went to go answer the question. Oh man, my voice was just like... So, the next 2 books being Daughters of Cain and Nighthaunt. I'm going to be super honest about the Daughters of Cain one. It is an army I do not understand, nor do I have any interest in, so... not that I'm not going to cover them or anything like that. Of course I am. But what I'm saying is I do not know enough about them to know what they're missing, what they're lacking. I would really love their Path to Glory section to be focused on sending blood back to the main temple, because they still like feed Marathi's power by going out and killing in the name of Cain. So I want, kind of like how the Deepkin have like soul raids, the Fire Slayers can like collect gold and that kind of stuff. Like I want those kinds of rules for them, but when it comes to whatever their quote unquote currency is for their temples, so I assume it's blood, which would be apropos. But I don't have any thoughts beyond that, of course, with the Path to Glory sections. That's really all I know about. My buddy, Pyromancer, here in the chat, or at least he was earlier, he is getting into Daughters of Cain, and I am so interested to learn more about that faction. So for them, I don't have much of an answer, James. I'm sorry. For the Nighthaunt, however, I do have thoughts and prayers. So one of the things I want from the Nighthaunt is... I want them to have, if they're going to stay the same way in terms of, largely single wound models with a lot of great support heroes. They have one of the best spell lores in the game. I just want more ways for those heroes to have a massive impact on the game. Like, which shouldn't be too hard. We're in the age of heroic actions and that kind of stuff, but I just feel like they get sniped out too easy, so there was more defenses for them to bunker up, move up the board, and contribute in meaningful ways. I think that would set them a long way apart. I want them to move away from the copy-paste of Stormcast rules when it comes to deployment from the sky. Like, when the Soul Wars books came out, and it was like, oh, so both of their allegiance abilities are just popping out 9 inches away? That seems weird to have 2 identical ones for your starter set factions. Odd. Cool. I think hopefully they move away from that a little bit, or at least add to it, right? Give me some more fun stuff on top of alternate deployments. But yeah, my big thing is mainly just the heroes. That's the biggest deal to me. These guys are done. I got 30 more boys, and the list that I just designed only uses 10 of them. Sounds about right. I guess honestly, I could, if I wanted to, get rid of these guys, double up There we go. Now we got our 30 more boys. Because again, all they're trying to do is just exist and then not die too fast. So, there we go. Nailed it. We got our 30 more boys and a savage big boss. All done with streaking grime. Good progress for the day. Let's see. What else do I need to do? I think that's about it. Let me take a quick gander at my table. Oh yeah, I have... Maybe someone can help me with this. So I have this war doc, okay? He's one of 2 war docs that I own. Cannot, for the life of me, he broke at his ankle, which is the single worst place for this frickin' model to break. No idea how to get him to stand back on there. I have tried gluing multiple times, and at this point it's just adding up glue on glue on glue. Let's see. Maybe if I shave some of it away, expose some of the... Right? Isn't he a resin kit? Or is he plastic? I could be super wrong about all that. Because if I don't figure something out soon, I'm going to green stuff a pile of bones or something and then just, like, stick his nub in there. Because I was annoyed to death with this guy. It's just the worst place for a break. Pin it with a piece of paper clip. Do I have a pin vise like that? I actually might. Hold on, let me see. That feels like a hobby tool that a professional YouTuber should have. Let's see. Cut it flat and put it in a stub. Yep, exactly. I don't think I have... I don't have a paper clip, but I do have a thumb deck, which is also totally size-wise appropriate. Let's see if we can do this. F it! We'll do it live! Here we are. Let's see... Friends, you didn't know this, but you are all coming aboard my struggle bus as I learn to do stuff. That doesn't seem right. One sec, it's having trouble locking around the there we go. Gotta flip the pin by side. What you are listening to is me learning how to do things in real time, and it's exactly how I learned how to do YouTube crap. Oh, you gotta do this, the other thing. Oh, okay, cool. I understand. Hours of me just doing that and muttering to myself at a coffee shop. Have I mentioned how much of a saint my wife is? Okay. Oh, sorry. Ambulance outside. I swear I either live in the safest part of town or the most dangerous one. I can't tell. There's always something going past. Okay, that's about the perfect... Let's see how deep we can get. Okay, that'll work. And we're going to do the same thing here. And if they don't line up, you know what we're going to do? Green stuff the hell out of it until we can make the ankle look right. Spezia! Hey, buddy! Switch to the downward cam. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought I was in the downward cam. I deeply apologize. Now we can watch Doug, Herp, and Derp in real time. Okay. I have literally never pinned a model before, so we are figuring this shiz out in real time together. Okay. I'm just afraid of this pin tip. Holy balls, man. Who knew that staples were so strong? Not staples. Thumbtacks. Let's see. Then again, no, I'm destroying my Warhammer clippers. That's cool. I think they're only about, you know, $1,000. It feels. Oh, what else we got? Let me see if I can find any other jerry-rig crap I can use. Oh, you know what? If all we need is a thin piece of metal to act as a framework, we could just steal a staple. And you guys, you don't even know, man. You're here. What am I doing? I'm way overthinking this. What a Doug thing to do. Why am I fighting to get this staple out? Just boom. Okay, now I know what you're thinking, Doug. You're gonna hurt yourself. But this is what I'm gonna say to you back. American entertainment is built on bloodshed. And nothing about that's gonna change here, okay? It's not what this channel's about. It's not about radical change. Should hopefully. Cool. I busted my clipper so bad that they ain't clipping anything ever again. I'm buying you a pack of 1,000 paper clips. Ha! Joke's on you. They only come in packs of 30 billion. Berg. Oh no. Clippy, I lost you. Man down. Where'd he go? Okay, can this work? Oh my god, I think we did it. Congratulations, everybody. We did a simple hobby task that hobbyists around the world have been doing for decades, but Doug just discovered on his own. Why buy a wheel when you can reinvent it? Okay. I'm unreasonably proud about My dingus learning on camera. My dingus self doing this. So, he's like that, but let's see if we can prop him forward just until it dries. There we go. There we go, chat. You, who are my 22 concurrent viewers / best friends, have all watched me learn to pin a model with a staple that couldn't be cut because I broke my clippers on a thumbtack. What is your recipe for orc skin? Great question, Ranchu. I have a few different things. So for me, I like a little bit of color variety. I don't like when they're all the exact same color. So what you're looking at are a few different things. We have orc flesh, contrast is one of them. Another one is, I believe it's Death Guard green, whatever the primer, the green primer they put out for the Death Guard stuff. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's Death Guard green. But that's this one. That's sort of more of a drab olive color. I also really love Plague Bear flesh. And then if you darken it down with washes and stuff, I actually love that green for flesh. But yeah, that's most of these are, I believe it, yeah, like I said, I believe it's Death Guard green. But yeah. The Cameron Watson. Hey, been watching your videos for a while now, but first time at live. Well, hey, thank you for joining me and thank you for the kind words. Love to do it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I didn't bleed at all for this pinning tutorial that I just did. So I feel pretty good. I feel pretty unstoppable, if I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I could do pretty much anything. Where's Cragnos? Let's pin the crap out of him with super low grade staples. Oh man. Yeah, look at that. He stands up straight now. Minimal damage to his toesies. I love it. You know, like when Tom Hanks learns how to rub two rocks together in Outcast and it makes fire and he just has that entire bonfire night? It's like, look at what I have created. That's exactly how I feel right now. Same big dick energy, emotional outrage. Although, you know what I should do? I should have just cut his foot off and like put it in a bush or something, like me and Donald were thinking, and then have him like have a name that's like Nubbins de Gubbin or something like that. I feel like that would have been cool. Ranchi, fantastic. I use Warpstone Glow with a Goblin Green highlight. It's much more of a cartoony look. Right on. I mean, that's some of the best things about orcs is they can be as serious and dark and grim, or as ridiculous as they want them to be, and all points in between, and it just kind of works, you know? Todd Howard style, just coming in. It just works, everybody. I love it. The confidence has started. Next time there will be blood. Of course, yeah. And of course, the Wardog's going to die round one. You know, why? Because I'm proud of him. He's going to get sniped off the table round one for no reason. He's not even like an important target. It's just my opponent's going to feel compelled to, you know, screw that model. All right. So I am just about to hit 2 hours of being live. Voice is still recovering, so I think I'm going to hop off for the day, but I'm glad to be back. Glad to be back talking to everybody. We're going to be crushing some Nubbin McGuffin. I love it. I'm here for it. We're going to be crushing some Fireslayer content and a lot more live streams this coming week because I need to get my army ready, of course. And yeah, I'm excited. Hope you guys join me for all this stuff. Obligatory Hot Pockets comment. Thank you, Lordville. Hot Pockets. So, I'm going to go... oh, speaking of terrible American things that you shouldn't actually eat. My last little sign-off here, I want to say. Baja Blast is out with a hard alcoholic version at your local grocery store. Try it. It's a mix pack with Baja Blast Mountain Dew, a watermelon flavor, and a black cherry. The Baja Blast black cherry, chef's kiss, amazing. And I do believe that they will wash down Hot Pockets quite well. You might die from explosive diarrhea and dysentery within the hour, but it will be a good death, and it will be worth it. So anyway, friends, thank you so much for all of that. I will hang out with you possibly tomorrow. I don't have a time yet, but possibly tomorrow we'll get some more hobby in. I think with these guys done, or mostly done, I'm going to shift focus to the 10. I have an unbuilt kit of boars that I'm thinking I'm going to build as basic boar boys instead of maniacs, which is what I already have. So I think that's the plan there. And yeah, we'll just do what we can. Yeah, cool. Thank you guys for hanging out, and I will catch you next time. See you laters.